We join 40 other major American cities today in celebrating tourism, the fact that tourism really matters. Nationally, it's more than a $750 billion industry with 14 million employees. In New Orleans and in the region, 74,000 people work in our industry in a city of only 350,000 people. So you can see the impact it has on surrounding parishes as well as in New Orleans. We're having one of our best years ever. Last year, over $5.5 billion spent, and we're on pace to break that this year. So we're recognizing that and having a lot of fun with it, with a parade down iconic Royal Street today.
Who's participating in the parade?
Well, almost everybody in our industry comes. We usually have the largest parade in the nation. Go figure that. We end up having the most interesting one with interesting visuals. Remember, in our parade, there'll be people who are jugglers, who are poets, who are street performers. There'll be hotel bellmen, there'll be sous chefs, there'll be hotel employees and taxi drivers. There'll be a little bit of everything. And so we're here to celebrate the fact that they make this relatively small American city into one of the biggest by the fact that we attract nearly 9 million people a year. Jerry, what that does for New Orleans and for this state is it not only contributes hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes, but it puts us in the forefront of many national events. I mean, this very week, checking in today and opening with their opening session, is a group called CTIA, our largest convention with over 40,000 people. They take every square foot of the convention center, over 1 million. They take nearly every hotel room in town. And this is the world's multi-trillion-dollar wireless industry. So this week in New Orleans will be more than 30 of the Fortune 500 CEOs as part of this industry. And so this is an exciting time. Everything's hitting here. Special events. I mean, I think everybody in the state saw it with BCS and Final Four, phenomenal Mardi Gras, the biggest French Quarter Fest ever, and a phenomenal Jazz Fest. But we're having a great convention schedule, bringing in the nation's business elite, and we're also happen to have one of the greatest leisure years ever. So New Orleans is clicking, and it's hot right now, and it means here in New Orleans, every neighborhood is helped, and every parish in Louisiana benefits from the success of this industry through the money we make for the state.
When it comes to competing with other cities for conventions, where does New Orleans stack up?
We usually rank between the 5th and 6th biggest convention cities in America. And when you think about our size, which is about 55th, I think, you realize what an unbelievable impact. And what it does for really all Louisianians who come here and for the locals who live here in the region is the fact that it allows us to be a major metropolis in terms of cultural events, restaurants, museums, art galleries, the kinds of things that add quality of life that you only find in the very largest cities of America. And we have it here because of this multi-billion-dollar tourism industry. Do you guys know that because of what you do every day in New Orleans tourism, every family in Louisiana, in every parish, in every city, pays $1,800 a year less in taxes because of what y'all do. So that's pretty good. So what is this about? Why are we here today? It's real simple. This is the week every year when the biggest cities in America, the biggest destinations, get together to celebrate tourism. Tourism is now a $750 billion industry in the United States. Unbelievable. And do you know that we employ more people in tourism in the U.S. than every automobile company, supplier, and manufacturer combined? That's how big we are. It's a remarkable day for New Orleans because of all the parades in the country, and they're going on all over this week. The one that's always the biggest, the most iconic, has the best imagery, is always you guys. Because, well, y'all can tell we just look cooler here than everybody else does. So it's an amazing time to celebrate the fact that in this city now, 74,000 people and their jobs are part of the tourism industry. They come from every neighborhood, virtually every street. They come from surrounding parishes to drive in. And we added 3,500 jobs this year. And we think it's going to keep growing because that matters. And the last thing I want to say before I introduce the people who really do the work is the fact that one of the lasting messages we're trying to get the media and people all over Louisiana to recognize is that we live in a small town. New Orleans is really a small place. It's a place in neighborhoods. Less than 350,000 people, yet we're in the top 6 in the country in conventions and one of the most popular destinations in the world. Well, what does it do to locals? Because of the fact that we produce 28 to 32% of this city's revenue, that means that nearly a third of the salaries of every police officer, of everybody who picks up garbage in your neighborhood, of every EMS, it all comes because of us. And you know what's good that we do for every other resident of this city? Think about what cultural assets a city of 300,000 people normally has. They've got a few things, right? They don't have the number of world-class restaurants, world-class museums, the cultural life, the nightlife, the special events, the engagement on the world stage. That comes because of what we can put together. And though we work at it, the one thing we sell is y'all. We sell the culture of this city that, as opposed to Europe, didn't come down from above. Here it's bubbled up from the streets, from every neighborhood. And it's why folks want to come from all over the United States to enjoy for a little bit, why when you come here, they know you're different here when you come. So thank every one of you for coming this morning.
Good morning. I stand here proud today to welcome and to celebrate with all of you and to represent the 74,000 employees of the hospitality industry. You know, we have a $5.5 billion direct spending impact on this wonderful city. That is huge. And we had a record-breaking year in 2011 with 8.75 million visitors. We all got to share the jewel of New Orleans. But records are meant to be broken. In 2012, in case you've been asleep the last 4 months, has started out to be an amazing year. Chris knows, right? We started off with the Sugar Bowl, as always, and then the BCS National Championship. We rolled into Mardi Gras, and then it was basketball time. First, the SEC tournament, where Kentucky conveniently lost to put us all, you know, a little bit off a bit. And then they came back and won the NCAA Final Four here in dramatic fashion. Of course, then was French Quarter Fest, followed by Navy NOLA Week, and thank you, Mark Romick, for all your work putting that together, right? Let's see, what happened after that? Oh yeah, Jazz Fest, perhaps one of the most successful jazz fests that I can remember. And now we're hosting CTIA, one of the largest conventions of the last decade at 40,000 people in our city. My goodness. You guys ready for the second half? Yeah, there you go. We are going to roll into this and set new records because we have an unprecedented collaboration now in our industry. The New Orleans Tourism and Marketing Corporation and the CVB are working together like they've never worked together before. Working on PR, advertising, marketing, and putting together wonderful things to draw even more tourists to this city. And we're working with the industry and city leaders to indeed find a way to get to our master plan goals. What are those goals? 13.7 million visitors by 2018, the tricentennial of New Orleans. 13.7 million visitors. Yeah? that almost $5.5 million worth of direct spending would more than double. More money would come into our city, more repairs of our infrastructure, and by the way, the convention center stepped forward with $30 million of infrastructure repair here in the heart of the city. So the future is even brighter, and I hope you all are ready. Keep the energy level up, because as we move forward, there is almost nothing that our city and our industry can achieve if we continue to work together. I'm very proud to be standing here today, and I thank you all for representing our industry, because truly, tourism matters. Thank you all very much.
We do have in this industry what we call our daily devotional, and it is, as Fred Sawyer said, the hospitality master plan. And other than the Bible, it's the thing we read most each day. We start the morning by reading it, and we finish the day by looking at its aspirations and its principles. And we're all together going to achieve the aspirations of that master plan. We have many, many partners. This will only achieve that if it's a partnership, and we have many partners, and many are represented in the room. There's no partner more important, though, than the folks in this room, the associates and the employees of this industry that make it run every day, and I applaud you for that. And that's of the 13.7 million visitors and the doubling of spending, actually the aspiration that's probably the most important and is the most fundamental to our city and to what we all want and what we all believe in, and that is the creation of tens of thousands of new jobs. Because all the spend and all the visitors, that's all great, and what that produces is fantastic, but the end product is the jobs and the flow to our citizens, which you represent so greatly, and we really appreciate that. There are many other partners. Second important behind our associates, of course, are our customers, but our customers doesn't mean anything if you don't have the associates to take care of them. And then, of course, we have the wonderful CVB, we have the NOTMC, we have the Convention Center, the Hotel Association, the LRA, the LSED. There's an alphabet soup of partners out there. We have our wonderful political leadership. Sitting down here is Ms. Jackie Clarkson, who knows a thing or two about tourism, and Ms. Kristen Palmer, who is, she's closing fast, and she knows a lot as well, and they have been wonderful, wonderful leaders and inspirations to all of us as we redouble our efforts to achieve our aspirations and to make this the greatest tourism city in the world. Thank you very much for all of your efforts.
Thank you all. I'm so glad Steve mentioned all of you, because that's what it takes. It takes a village, and this is the best village this city has. Tourism does matter. When I was thinking of entering government, our oil industry, our only major industry, was dying, and tourism stepped up to the plate. Some of you aren't even old enough to know about this, and some of you weren't old enough to be a part of it yet. Many of you in this room, unfortunately, were a part of it because I watched you from afar, and I, as a businesswoman, admired the fact that you stepped up to the plate at the most strategic time in this city's history to bring in another leading industry to supplant what had been all of our eggs in one basket. And you brought us more eggs, more baskets. You brought us the opportunity to sell ourselves. A city that has the birth of jazz, the oldest continuous opera in North America, the finest restaurants in the world, the oldest continuous cathedral, the oldest apartment buildings, the Pontalbas, and fabulous museums that rank internationally. We had never thought to sell it. We only thought to love it and enjoy it. This industry taxed itself, burdened itself, and worked itself to death to fill that void. I watched you, admired you. It was a privilege to get elected and become a part of you. Thank you for that opportunity. Thank you for the right to brag about you. Congratulations, Steve, on bringing the largest convention in the world with the wireless. I remember when we fought to save the realtors post-Katrina. That was one of the largest then, 30,000. And I said to you then, I have no doubt you'll top this, and you have. And it's been a privilege to work with each and every one of you. And I'm so excited that my counterpart as your district councilwoman has not only been a part of this, a great part of this, and will continue in even greater stead. The beat goes on with all of us, and it will never quit. Ladies and gentlemen, not only did you save the day and save the city, you have diversified the most important thing we sell, and that's our culture. You have taken it to new heights in athletics and in music and in food and in everything, the river, everything that's ours that we can sell to the world. Yes, we are the greatest city in the world, and it's your industry that has put us on the map. Thank you.
I just love being here because this industry is very near to my heart. You know, I've worked in the back of the house, I've worked in the front of the house, I've worked behind a bar, I've worked in front of a bar. And, you know, that's really something that has allowed my family to grow. Many of us worked our way in my family. I'm one of 8 kids. We all worked in the industry. We all worked our way through college. It's something that really allowed us to build wealth, create wealth, you know, basically take care of our families. And that's really why we're here. And there's no better city to do it in than this city. And we talk about our beautiful and our wonderful built environment, but the real reason we're here is because all of you that are here, because we also have the best people in the country and in the world, and that's why we have the best numbers, quite frankly. It's because of all of you in this room. And you know, and I want to talk about something else when we talk about going into the future that's often really not talked about within the tourism industry. And let's talk about how we've really rebuilt this city. Because we have to remember where we were and where we're going, and we still have a long ways to go. But the fact that millions of people come here to visit is that we're still in their consciousness. And that's what's really enabled us, aside from the economics that has allowed us to rebuild and allow our families to come back and rebuild their homes and still have a job. What also happens is when people come to this town, they become, we all know, entranced with this town, right? And our wonderful hospitality. And because of that, they're committed to the change, and they're committed to watching us rebuild. And that's something that other cities that have had tremendous, I want to say, federal disasters or natural disasters don't have. And that's the reason why we're coming back stronger, quite frankly, is because of the uniqueness of this place and the uniqueness of everybody in this room. And so when we talk about that and we talk about more jobs, that's going to bring us to keep bringing all of our people home. And we have to remember that. And so when we're out there and we're talking about our city, it's in a very personal, real way that other communities do not have. So I just want to thank everybody for doing their work, and I'm just here to support y'all, and we have an unprecedented amount of collaboration going on in the future and currently between the industry, between our political leaders, between our region. It's wonderful to see Gretna here. So we also have to talk about that multiplier effect, correct? It's not just this city, it's our surrounding parishes, and it's our entire state. And it's because we are the economic engine of this entire region. So thank you for all that you do, and I'm just very excited to represent this very special place.
Hello, how everybody's doing? I'm glad to be a part of tourism, and whenever you pull up, no matter where you're going, if it was the Marriott or the Hyatt Regency of New Orleans, you'd always see a smile on my face, and we are the ones who matters. And I thank you all so much for having me here in the city of New Orleans. Thank you.
It's a personification of what this city's all about, and the tourism tells it best. We are the collaboration of everything that's best about us put into a format that we can tell the world. It's fabulous.
It's wonderful. I mean, I'm almost speechless. It's just amazing to see the diversity of our people that participate in the hospitality industry, and I think the strength of our industry, and how there really is such a collaborative effort amongst all of us to really keep progressing.
I think sometimes people take for granted that New Orleans is a top 10 destination in the nation, and so sometimes we tend to overlook the fact that without tourism and the dollars that it brings, that our economy wouldn't be able to provide the cultural assets that all residents enjoy.
Are you encouraged by what you've seen here today?
Absolutely. I think it's a wonderful statement, and hopefully it will carry throughout the nation.
We're here to support tourism in New Orleans. Obviously, we're all from the hospitality industry. This is our livelihood. But for us, it's so much more than that. We're all about the city, and we want to share it, and that's why I think New Orleans is so, that's our nature in New Orleans. We want to share, and we're hospitable people.
What's your reaction to everything you've seen here today?
It's New Orleans. I mean, what's more New Orleans than a parade and all the crazy people and all the characters and everybody just having fun. It's a lot of what New Orleans is, having fun and sharing it with other people.
I am a supervisor in food and beverage. Why am I here today? We enjoy the tourism, we enjoy the fun that they bring to the city, the fun that we can bring to them. It's the best thing ever happened to the city right now.
What's your reaction to everything that you've seen and heard today?
So far, colors, a lot of positive attitudes, different hotels that I haven't seen in a while come out to the streets and celebrate the tourism thing that we have going on today. So far, a very good thing.
I am an artist by trade, but I am a New Orleanian by heart, and I love New Orleans, and so this is New Orleans.
Why are you marching here today?
For tourism. The city is a gem, and everyone is missing out. They need to come and see New Orleans and what we're all about.
What does tourism mean to you?
It's what we are. New Orleans is a unique cultural city and very diverse, and I mean, it's in our blood, so it means everything to me.
I'm a dental hygienist in Mandeville, Louisiana, and we're marching here today to spread the word that New Orleans is back, alive, thriving, and we love it here.
What does tourism mean to you?
Tourism means people coming to visit our city and experiencing what we experience every weekend. Awesome, fun, and just love to live.
New Orleans is sort of the gateway through which most travelers to the state come, and so this is, of course, extremely important for Louisiana as a whole.
Tourism really matters here. And the reason I say that, it's not just the biggest industry employing the most people, but what it truly does is it puts New Orleans on a national and international stage month after month in a way that belies the 350,000 people that live here. It becomes a world platform for culture, for events, for business. And when you have that, New Orleans is that difference maker that makes us different than most southern states by having a city of this magnitude that's a world center of attention.
I'm here today to see the Mardi Gras and experience it for myself. Unfortunately, my wife's supposed to be here. We were out all night and she feels tired, but I don't want to miss this for anything.
What's your reaction to the parade and what you've seen in New Orleans?
I'm excited, and I'd like to join the group and promote the tourism here in LA. I'd be very proud.
What do you like about New Orleans?
Well, I have tried the Cajun seafood, the Creole, and I experienced it, and I love it.
If people have questions or like more information, what should they do?
They just need to go on NewOrleansCVB.com or NewOrleansInfo.com, and they can find every bit of information they want about where to go eat, what to see, what to do, about the economics, how to contact our communications department to find out all the background information they could ever want.